Hello everyone, I am back and today's look is a Jlo look. Jlo recently got married, or Jennifer Lynn Affleck as she is now known, or still Jlo. And I'm really pleased for her and I thought she looked fabulous, 53 years old, it's her 4th wedding, hopefully her last. It was on the cards many moons ago to marry Ben Affleck, who is pretty hot I have to say. And finally they have done it and I thought, you know what? I've done lots of looks of Jlo because she is just absolutely beautiful and wears makeup well and always doesn't look overly done. She just wears makeup well. So let's do a Jlo wedding makeup. Now she hasn't released proper photos, whether she will or not, who knows, but I do follow Mary Phillips, who is her makeup artist, and so worth a follow because she does beautiful makeup. And also Chris Appleton, who is her hairdresser. So they've put a few pictures up. Jlo put a picture with a veil up. I kind of put them all together and actually it's not too different to what Jlo would normally wear. Obviously I'm making up the products, as you guys will. You don't have to use the products that I'm using. Just go for whatever you've got, and I'm sure you'll have quite a few of these classic staples. So don't go out and spend a bomb because none of us have got that at the moment. So just try and use products that you've already got to adapt and hopefully you can get the look as well. Right, firstly, I'm just going to spritz my skin. I'm going to take this Rare Beauty mist. I've already moisturised my skin, so I just want to wake up the moisturiser. I actually am not going to use a primer because I don't want loads and loads and loads of products on, and I'm already going to use the foundation, and then I'm going to use a Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter over the top, so I don't want tons and tons of products. And on my skin, makeup sits really well. I don't need a primer necessarily. It stays on my skin pretty well. So I'm just going to spritz just to wake up my moisturiser. This is a really lightweight spritz. And it smells lovely. I feel like I've been to a spa. Right, start off with, I am going to use this foundation by Charlotte Tilbury, which is Beautiful Skin Foundation. I really love this foundation. This is in number 5. And the brush that goes with that, just to work that onto my skin. This gives a medium coverage. It's a water-based foundation, which I tend to like on my dry skin. I think it sits well on my skin, a bit like MAC Face and Body, which is much lighter. That's water-based as well. After foundation, I'm going to move straight onto the eyes. I want the foundation to work into the skin and find its own way. That way, if the foundation goes a bit patchy or isn't sitting right, we can take it off. We haven't sealed anything into place. Also, it will show us any places that need a little bit more coverage so we can come back to them. I'm going to move on to the eyes. I'm going to take this Nars Longwear Eye Pencil. This is high pigment and it stays really, really well. And I want to take that in my top waterline just to give me a little bit of a thicker lash line. This will transfer slightly under the eye, so I want to do this first. So any transfer I can clean up before I do the next few steps. So I'm going to take that, look down and just pop it on the top waterline. I might have to move in a bit more for this. So you can see it's just giving me a little bit more thickness to that lash line. Now don't worry if that transfers down, we can clean it up afterwards. However, that pigment stays pretty well. Next up, I'm going to take this Vieve palette, which is the Essentials palette. I used this in my last Audrey Hepburn video. I think it's a really nice basics palette. So I'm going to take the So Shy, which is the lightest one. I have to hold it like this because one of them falls out. I think this one falls out. I need to glue it back in. And I just want to take that over the mobile lid. The mobile lid is the bit that moves, basically. So I want to take that over the mobile part of the lid just to give me something for the next product, really, so that it doesn't move quite as much. Next up, I've got this Pat McGrath Perma Gel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in Black Coffee. I've chosen this one because it really moves a lot, and I just want to pop that here. I'm then going to take a brush and just softly buff that so it gives me a defined line but slightly soft focus. The reason I chose this pencil is because it does blend so easily. You'll notice I've done one eye and then I'll move on to the other because it will hold in place, but I have a little bit of playtime. It blends quite well straight away, but if you leave it for too long, it will set. So now I'm going to do the other eye. Once that's blended in, I'm going to take the same pencil and just run that along the lower lash line and get it to wing up almost to meet that one. Again, this is going to be blended, so it doesn't need to be spot on tidy. Same brush to buff that in. This one I've done both eyes because I know it won't take me quite as long to buff it. So now I have got a rough shape. I'm going to go back in with my palette and I'm going to use this colour Delicious. I'm going to use that on a brush that has a reasonably sized head for blending. This is a MAC 217 blending. I'm just going to take that over the eye pencil that we've already put on the upper side rather than the inner side. I want to keep this bit quite light. So it's just really to seal that into place and make it blend nicer. Then in with the slightly darker colour and the brush that I use to blend the eyeshadow, which is a 239 I think it is, and just take that where we blended the other colour, just pull up so it gives us that little bit of darkness in the corner there. This is with a darker colour just in the corner to add a little bit of definition. That with that brush, and then swap brushes to do the blending. So we put the colour on with the slightly firmer brush and I just swapped brushes to do the blending. And just keep swapping between the brushes. Next in with black liner. This is the Rare Beauty liner. I really like this liner. It has such a nice nib to it. So I'm going to take that on the inner corner. And work it along. The fact that the nib is so much wider means it has a lot of product that gets to it, so you're not constantly trying to get more product out of it, or so I've found anyway. So you can see we've then got a nice black liner. I'm then going to go in with an angle brush and this colour Good Night and just soften that a little bit because I don't want the liner to be too harsh. So we're just going to take the tap off any excess because it will fall down, but it's okay because we can clean it up because we haven't finished the base. And just push that along. So it makes it a little bit softer. Also means if you're not great at liner, it just makes that a little bit better and a little bit easier. It's also sealing that line into place and just run that all the way over the top. I like that it takes away the shine. I'm not keen on a shiny eyeliner. When I get into this corner, I'm just going to bring it back on itself. Next up, also in this palette, is the one that keeps falling out, called Glimmer. I want to take that and just push it in the corner because I can see from the side that she's got a little bit of a shimmer in that very corner there. So we'll pop a little bit of that in there for now. Right, in with mascara, whichever mascara takes your fancy. This is the Rare Beauty mascara. I'm going to whack some of that on. I'm sure Jlo may have worn a waterproof. Then for lashes, wouldn't normally put full lashes on for a bride, but by the looks of it, Jlo did have. These ones are number 36 by MAC. Lashes are on. I'm going to clear the under of my eyes just in case any has fallen down with a slightly wet Q-tip. We're going to finish skin, do brows, and we're pretty much there. I've just been sent the new Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. So it was gifted to me. Let's give it a go. I'm going to pop that under my eyes. This is in number 5, so it's actually lighter than you would think. Because 5 I always think is reasonably dark, but this is quite light. Take it there. There. I might take a little bit around my nose so it will rub off. I'm just going to take this Charlotte Tilbury, don't know what this one is, Magic Complexion brush, and just blend that in. Let's see what this concealer is like, shall we? It's not very much coverage for a concealer, is it? Maybe it's meant to lift rather than cover. Do you think I need another concealer? I'm going to take a little bit of this Huda Beauty one that I've been using recently, which is the faux filter. This one is in vanilla. It's a little bit lighter in colour, but I wanted it to be lighter. Just in case you wonder, the reason I'm putting it here is because I want to lift this area. So that's going to pull that area out, because when I put a contour on, it's going to sink that area in. But sometimes you don't need to use a contour if you lift that area out. It kind of does the job for you. Obviously I'm going to use contour because I'm doing Jlo. Charlotte Tilbury contour stick in medium, I think. Fair medium. Ooh, this has been on the plane with me and I forgot to do the lid up, so there's a lot of product trying to get out. Oopsie. Setting brush. I'm going to take that right into the ear because I put too much on. On that jaw with any excess. No further than there. Now Jlo normally contours down the side of her nose to make her nose look a little bit thinner. I don't need to do that. My nose is quite thin, so if anything I need to powder the top of my nose so mine looks flatter. So I'm just putting a darker concealer just down the front of my nose, just to make mine go back a little bit, if that makes sense. I don't need it to go back much, just I don't want it projecting forward. This medium. Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer in medium, just to give a little bit of lovely Puerto Rico glow. Now, can I just ask, did anyone see the dance and song that Jlo did for Ben? So during the wedding, I think it was leaked and TMZ was showing it, Jlo did a song and a dance routine with backing singers for Ben. And I was like, oh my God, this is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. And I couldn't decide whether I loved it or hated it, but I kind of loved it because I was like, oh, well, obviously she's a performer, so she doesn't get embarrassed, but I would never stand up in front of people with backing dancers and do a big dance and sing a song to my husband, but that's not what I do for a job. But it was the way they looked at each other. I was like, oh my God, they have so much chemistry. I bet they don't leave the bedroom. So I kind of loved it for the fact that they were just like into each other, but I hated it as me being like, I would never do that. This is so cringe, but I loved it. If you saw it, did you love it or did you think, oh my God, cringe, love? I'm so split between the two, but I want to say love it because I just thought, oh, they're so into each other. As you should be. Like if you're marrying someone, it made me feel a little bit jealous that I couldn't be that in the moment. Do you know what I mean? That I have things holding me back. Okay, cheeks. We are getting there. We need some highlighter. I'm just going to use a powder bronzer over my bronzer because I want to take the shine away from my skin. So I'm just taking a Charlotte Tilbury powder bronzer over the top. See, this is why I didn't want to use quite so many products. I didn't use that Flawless filter in the end because I decided it wasn't necessary. So I take the bronzer over the top. I'm just going to take this Vieve palette, which is a dimensioned face palette. And I want to take this one here to define there. I want to take this one here to highlight here. Bear in mind, I haven't done brows yet, guys. It's a long video. It can go there, and it can also go there. Then I'm going to take this one, I think. Oh, should I mix the two? Because I quite like the peachy and I quite like the pinky, so let's mix the two and have the best of both worlds. Just pop that on the top of the cheeks. I'm going to take this one here on my eyeshadow brush and just blend that up a bit higher. So I like to put a kind of bronzy tone through the eye. And I'm also going to take that on this brush and just run it under the eye so it blends that into the fold. Now Jlo's brows are always quite soft, so I'm going to take the uemura brow pencil. You can't get this brow pencil anymore. It's in hard number 9 and it's just the perfect colour. It's so annoying you can't get it anymore, but I'm going to use it because it's perfect. And I just want to make my brows a little bit thicker, but not much. That'll do. And then lastly, lip. Overdrawn to the max lips. I am going to take MAC Oak to start off with and colour my whole lip in with that. So it's a soft beigey nude, not pinky. You can totally use Strip Down if you don't have that one. I'm then going to take Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude and overdraw the lips. I'm then going to take a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Lips, and this one is in Best Actress. I think it's kind of like a stain. Because we need something that's going to last. Especially with all that kissing on my lip. Lastly, a bit of MAC Extended Play on my lower lashes. And then lastly, just to pinken that lip up a tiny bit, I'm going to put a little bit of moist lipstick from Hourglass. So it gives it a little bit of a glow. And then powder anywhere that needs a shine gone with Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. And there you have a finished Jennifer Lynn Affleck makeup. Let me put I bought a blooming veil for £6 from Amazon for this look, which I don't know how you use because I've not worn one. Just call me Jlo. If only my hair would stop getting so fluffy and would let itself be back.